when I booted up into Windows, it had been so long that Microsoft installed some updates on my computer. And I noticed that in Vista, they can just automatically shut your computer down for updates. So, there is a possibility of an operating system kill switch, where I guess the authorities could contact Microsoft and have Microsoft, send software to disable your computer and then automatically shut it down. So it's probably a good idea to be able to dual boot into Linux and have a backup operating system. In Linux, you can boot it off of a CD or a DVD, in a live environment. You can boot it off a USB stick, or you can resize your main partition on your hard drive and install it on your hard drive, and you have a way to switch operating systems. That's a pretty good concept when you're working with computers, is to have a redundancy plan, where if this doesn't work, you can fall back on that and so forth. And certainly with your operating systems, as much hard drive space and memory and so forth as we all have on our computers now. I'm running Linux, and I have quite a bit of software on my Linux partition, and it's about a quarter of the size of my Vista partition. And I don't really have very much installed over here on Vista. It just came stock with my computer. So, it's really, something that will barely put a dent in your computing power in most cases. And it will definitely be worth it, if everything gets shut off. So, so what comes out of this as far as us as entrepreneurs, what kind of needs can we meet, because as entrepreneurs, that's basically what we do, is we try to anticipate what kind of needs will come out, and what people might be willing to exchange money for. One of the ideas that comes out of this is being able to sell or recycle WRT compatible routers. You can go out on FreeFunk or any of the router firmware databases and easily get a list of what routers are compatible with alternate firmware, and then offer to buy used or unused wireless routers. There's times when the cable company comes in and gives people a router, and then they have a router stuck in their closet, or you can find these and set them up for mesh networking and resell them. You could sell new ones, configure your own router and then sell it. The other idea is to design and install antennas. If you have the knowledge of how antenna systems work, and that information is available on the internet if you're good with your hands and working with metal and like doing that kind of thing. There's certainly business there to give everybody antennas to be able to connect. Once a mesh is up, some of the opportunities that present themselves would be to offer some dirt cheap voice over IP. If you have some PBX know-how, you could even patch voice over IP from the mesh out to the regular phone system, to give people a gateway to make long distance calls and call other communities and so forth. The other needs will be, developing social networking sites on the mesh, and developing, whatever kind of services on the mesh that would compete with the services offered on the bigger internet. And these would be services that would, provide for the needs of your local community. Another thing I do that's really helped me is promotional work for low-income people. And I've gotten a lot of business from doing this. Sometimes there's maybe a single mother that doesn't really have a lot of income and a lot of money to spend. I'll go in and work on her computer, and maybe she knows her boss needs some computer work, or her parents or her family or friends that are willing to pay. That's a definite gateway. You can really kind of get your hands dirty with practicing some of this stuff, and have some demonstrations of what you can do by doing some promotional work. Another way is somebody, I guess an earlier speaker had mentioned this, are nonprofit entrepreneur type opportunities, where you could set up a nonprofit structure and, you know, work off of dues and donations and set up mesh networks for your community that way. That's another opportunity there. And of course, you want to charge, you know, businesses and busy homeowners, you know, people that, you know, really want this done and don't have the time to do it themselves, because, you know, definitely, you know, an opportunity there to make money, you know, where you can point out to these people that they definitely need a backup plan, and, you know, it's definitely going to be worth their investment in this infrastructure, you know, to keep things going, you know, because, you know, we don't know what's going to happen. Um, you know, just, you know, with this bill that's up, and just, you know, with a lot of the turmoil that's going on, you know, we have protests in Egypt, Libya, you know, possibly protests in Saudi Arabia coming down. We've got, you know, unions and tea parties and you know, all kinds of unrest, natural disasters. You know, we can't really count, we're not at the position where we can count on that connection to our IP, our ISP, to be able to connect to the internet. We really need to make that move to the mesh. And, you know, that the real weakness is our current topology. You know, it's really just boils down to the fact that right now I'm talking to all you guys, but I'm not connected to you directly. My computer's not connected directly to you in any way. I'm going through Time Warner cable, and then that's routed out on the internet to, you know, whatever system you're tied into. And, you know, there's only, you know, maybe 5 or 6 different providers, you know, in the United States for high-speed internet. You know, there's Roadrunner and Cox Communication and DirecTV and so forth. And you know, it creates a very sensitive weak spot in the way that we connect. The mesh topology will remove this. And really, you know, I've looked at, you know, a lot of different implementations, and I was really impressed with Freepoint because they've got it up and running. They've got, you know, a large spread across Germany right now, and they've moved into Switzerland. And, you know, so they have the experience and the tools and the know-how to help us. I have some promotional materials too. I'll try to make that available. I've got an English version of one of their presentations. Then, you know, have a backup operating system in place, you know, possibly, you know, get Linux, learn how to use Linux, teach other people how to use Linux, show them how to set it up, and, you know, through that, you know, there's opportunities out there, you know, for us to be able to make money helping our communities, which, you know, is pretty much what we do as entrepreneurs. I think with that, I'll close. I'll go ahead and paste a link to my wiki. I have, you know, several links to these projects I mentioned in my wiki, and try to go ahead and get this presentation uploaded so you guys can get it. But anyway, thanks for listening, and thanks for giving me your time. I apologize for the technical difficulties. That really, you know, just kind of put a hair in me. But anyway, I'll go ahead and close. So, guys, enjoy the rest of the conference. Thanks for letting me talk. Bye.